The film starts with a group of pirates on a ship in the middle of the ocean. The pirate crew on the ship plans a mutiny against their captain as he knows about the city that is hidden beneath the sea but refuses to reveal its location. They interrogate the captain and threaten to kill him if he doesn't tell them where the city is, but he still refuses to speak. Suddenly, one of them shoots him and he falls into the sea. Holding onto the barrel next to him as he falls, we learn that inside the barrel is his own son, Hexing. From that moment, the pirate leader dies. 20 years after these events, we see Hexing grown up on a boat with a crew of fishermen. We learn that the one who found and rescued him from the sea was Captain Long, who became like a father to Hexing since he adopted him when he found him. Later, Long orders on the ship that they must go search for the treasure hidden beneath the sea. But before they dive in, he informs them that they must head to a place called the Eye of the Sea, where all sea treasurers gather. Hexing starts preparing to dive with them, but young men in the crew mocks him and tells him not to join because he doesn't want Hexing to take a share of their treasure. At that moment, Long notices the situation and keeps encouraging Hexing until he regains his confidence and dives into the sea with its team. Hexing drifts away from the group and searches alone until he finds a golden staff. He breaks a piece from it and realizes that some power transfers from the piece into his hand. Energy bursts from his hand, making him lose balance underwater, until suddenly a giant sea monster appears before him. However, the monster doesn't harm him and just swims away. Hexing starts suffocating, desperate for oxygen, and he can't swim back to the surface. Unfortunately, he faints. On the ship, Long asks the crew about Hexing, who has been underwater for far too long, but everyone says they haven't seen him. Long grows very worried and decides to dive in himself. Underwater, he manages to find Hexing unconscious and gives him a breathing device so he can breathe again. Hexing regains consciousness, and just as they are about to return to the ship, suddenly, the sea monster appears again. It attacks Long and pushes him away from Hexing. Hexing decides to swim upward to breathe. When he resurfaces, he finds pirates attacking the ship. Then he looks ahead and sees Long appear before him. He is overjoyed to see him again. But his happiness doesn't last, because the monster suddenly emerges and swallows Long whole. The ship's crew witness what happened, and out of fear, they decide to flee the area, abandoning Hexing alone in the middle of the sea. Hexing then notices the pirate ship approaching him, and they capture him onto their vessel. Once there, they tie him up, and the pirate queen sees the pirate tattoo on his shoulder. She asks him, "Where are you from? Or which pirates do you belong to?" He tells her he's not a pirate at all, but a fisherman of the sea. She then notices the golden piece he carries and asks him, "Where did you get this from?" He tells her that he found it in the sea. She takes it from him and orders her crew to imprison him. They lock him in a room, then he gets hit on the head and faints. When he wakes up, he finds himself tied with Anzu. Anzu tells him that she has sharp teeth and can use them to cut the ropes, so she unties them with her help. She asks him, "Which village are you from exactly?" He tells her he's from the boat dwellers, and she immediately understands he is a sea fisherman. We then see Hexing in the pirate queen's cabin, searching for his golden piece until he finds it. Then he looks at the map and sees a mark on an island called Elixir Island. The mark indicates they are planning to attack the island. Meanwhile, Anzu appears before the pirate crew and they attempt to assault her, but Hexing rescues her. He takes her and they both jump into the sea. They reach a small boat that they supposedly stole from a ship. Suddenly, Hexing is struck by an arrow in his back, shot by the pirate queen, who is furious that he didn't die. Afterward, she kills one of her own crew members and throws his body into the sea. The next day, Hexing wakes up to find Anzu tending to his wound. It becomes clear that there are signs of mutual admiration between them. Anzu asks him about his golden piece, and he shows it to her. She is greatly surprised. She tells him she's from Elixir Island and reveals that she is searching for the lost city beneath the sea. According to the legend, it lies under Elixir Island, and they actually decide to go to the Elixir Island. And then she gives him a fish so he can eat it, and she tells him that he must eat very well and regain his strength so he can pass through the ghost fog. Of course, when he asks her what this ghost fog is, she explains that in order to go to Elixir Island, he must enter the ghost fog, and this fog is extremely cold. And she explains that anyone who goes through it cannot withstand its coldness, and unfortunately, dies immediately. Anyway, by that time, they are in front of the ghost fog, and he asks her, "How are we going to pass through, you smart one, without dying from the cold?" So she tells him that she has 2 bottles of sea mercury water. Suddenly, while she's talking, they get pulled into the fog, and Hexing starts feeling very weak and faints. So Anzu makes him drink from the sea mercury water to wake him up, and indeed, he wakes up. She keeps talking to him so he doesn't faint again. After they manage to pass through the fog, Anzu takes Hexing to her family's house so he can rest well. Anzu's grandfather is very angry with her for bringing a stranger to their village. Later, Hexing wakes up from sleep and goes out to explore the island, where he meets Dr. Wu, who tells him that he is the one who treated the wound on his back and that he saw the pirate tattoo on his body but never told anyone that he was a pirate. Then Anzu arrives and introduces them to each other. Then they tell Hexing that they are trying to search for the treasure of the lost island. Wu asked him to follow him because he wants to give him something that might help him. He gives him a book that has the same drawing of the golden piece that he has, exactly the same. And in the book, it is also written that the city under the ocean is located beneath a very large ship in the Elixir village. Then the three of them immediately go to a very big mountain, and its shape is exactly like a ship. So Hexing understands that the city must be beneath that mountain, and they decide to climb to the top of the mountain. When they climb to the top, they see that there is a mysterious circle in the water. Hexing looks at the paper he has and understands that they must go through the circle if they want to enter the city. And indeed, they all dive into the sea, and they enter through the circle until they reach a place inside the sea where there is no water at all. The three of them find a cave and enter it to explore. When Hexing enters the cave, he remembers every part of it. He recalls that he had come here long ago with his father, the pirate leader. Then his memories are interrupted, and he warns them that they must run quickly from this place because water is coming at them right now. Before he finishes his words, the water really rushes at them and is about to drown them. But suddenly Hexing finds hand-emitting power and he turns the water into ice. He actually saves them at the last moment. After they recover from the shock, they run quickly from the place and accidentally arrive at a spot where a map of the entire ocean is drawn, and this map is engraved on the ground they are standing on. Hexing and Dr. Wu go down to remove the dust from the map. Anzu asks Hexing who he is and how he can even control the ghost fog like that. Then he begins to remember the day he came here with his father and that he was supposed to be drawing on the same map they are standing on. And he also remembers his father's words telling him that he is the only one who will be able to open the eye of the sea. When he snaps out of these memories, he tells her that he is the one who drew the map, and he tells her that he was the son of the pirate leader. She becomes very upset with him because he did not tell her from the beginning, and that he was hiding the tattoo on his arm, and that he is actually a pirate, which is very dangerous for her. Hexing gets frustrated and tells her that he is from the boat people and that he is not really a pirate, but he was born with a tattoo on his arm. So Anzu leaves the place and abandons him with Wu. When Hexing tries to catch up with her, Wu stops him and begins to reveal him, telling him that his real name is Sada and that he was actually a pirate with his father long ago. He tells Hexing that his real name is Dongsong. Sada tells him that he is the only one who can open the eye of the sea, and the biggest proof of this is the tattoo on his shoulder. But Hexing doesn't care about his words at all and leaves him. After that, he returns to the shore of the Elixir Island. There, you find that the pirates have attacked the villagers and they had already killed Anzu's grandfather and were threatening the others with swords. Present at that moment is the same pirate leader woman who had previously imprisoned Hexing with Anzu, and she thanks him very much in front of Anzu for bringing him here to the island. At that moment, Anzu remembers that indeed, he is the one who brought the pirates to the island. But then Sada appears, and all the pirates, even the leader, bow before him. He tells the villagers that he was able to find the salvation of the underwater city and that he will not harm them. Then he leaves. Hexing then goes to Anzu to console her, but the villagers stop him and starts throwing stones at him. He becomes very angry and decides that he will go with the pirates. Sada takes the golden piece that Hexing has and tells him that it is not an ordinary piece at all, but rather it is from the armor of his father, the pirate leader. Hexing then asks him, how did his father die? Sada tells him that he and the pirate crew are the ones who killed him because he knew about the island's gate and never told anyone about it. Then he offers him to join them and open the gate of the island, and afterward they will take all the gold inside, and that he's supposed to be a pirate and will remain a pirate just like them. At that moment, Hexing remembers the days when he was with the boat dwellers and how much they treated him with contempt because his hand didn't have the pirate tattoo. So Hexing agrees to join them because of the way people treated him, believing that they would surely respect him after he became stronger and opened the gate of the island, which was supposed to be called the Eye of the Sea. On the other side, We see Anzu as she buries her grandfather, and afterwards, she rules the island after him. It turns out that Long is still alive, and Anzu decides to go to him. When she arrives, she asks him to form an alliance with her, along with all the boat dwellers, so they can break the ghost fog. She tells him that no one can do it except Hexing, and they must rescue him from those evil pirates. One of the boat dwellers angrily tells Anzu that none of them will risk their lives for just one pirate. Anzu feels very disappointed and is about to leave, but Long stops her and tells her that he will go with her to save his son. Then we see Hexing on pirate ship, starting to open the gate to the city beneath until suddenly Long's crew attacks the ship and asks Hexing to return with them, but he refuses to go. The pirate leader attacks them, but Hexing stops her and prevents her from harming. Then Anzu appears and begins to tell him that she has learned about his life and that her grandfather told her everything before he died. She reveals that Hexing's father, the pirate leader, was a very kind man who tried to protect them. Hexing tells her that she must leave with her people so he doesn't harm them, and that it's impossible for him to return with them no matter what happens. At that moment, Long appears on the ship with his crew. When he sees Hexing, he's overjoyed that he is still alive and goes to embrace him to take him back with him. But as they are about to leave, Sada betrays them and shoots Long, and unfortunately Long dies. Hexing remembers the day his father died in the exact same way, realizing that it was Sada who had shot his father too and ended his life. After that, Sada escapes from the ship, jumps into the sea and enters the gate of the city. Hexing orders his friends to take Long's body while he will take care of the rest. The pirate leader wants to kill Anzu, but Hexing manages to stop her. Before she can jump at him to kill him with her weapons, the sea monster suddenly appears and swallows her. Hexing then decides to descend into the eye of the sea and stop Sada from opening the gate. He manages to reach the city, and when he looks ahead, he sees Sada. Sada begins to draw power from the city, and his body turns into gold. When Hexing tries to tell him to stop what he is doing, Sada becomes furious and transforms all the water in the sea into ice, knocking Hexing down with his immense power. But then, Hexing gets back up to try to break the ice barrier between him and Sada to stop him, but unfortunately he cannot. When Sada sees him, he attacks him with all his strength, and Hexing is on the verge of fainting. Then Hexing grabs the golden armor piece that belonged to his father, and it transforms into liquid gold. The golden liquid enters his hand until it turns into a golden hand. Hexing feels a tremendous power flowing into his body. Then he rises and uses his golden hand to break the barrier, and indeed, he succeeds, causing the barrier to fall onto Sada and kills him. When Sada dies, the ghost fog completely disappears from the Elixir continent. Hexing's friends are all very overwhelmed at the great achievement, but at the same time, they are sad, thinking that Hexing has died. But suddenly, he rises out of the sea and they realize he still lives. Anzu is very happy, and they decide from that day onward to continue their lives with each other together. And this is how the film ends.